in this business, I'm not sure how you feel about it, but I want to ask you about it. But from the Ric Flairs to the Arn Andersons to Mike, myself, all the fans, you really have a very, very impeccable reputation and are really loved and remembered as one of the greatest, clearly top 10 to many, many folks. What do you attribute that to, that you've been so fondly remembered? Was it just doing the right thing over the course of your career? Or, how does that make you feel knowing just how respected Barry Windham really is?
Well, just to end the ring, I guess one of the main things that sticks out in my mind that Eddie Graham said to me, he said, you have to work a shoot. Like you have to go into a match like it's a real fight, and then you work a real fight. And I took that and I applied it, and I just thought, and then I thought about selling and all that, and it just, and I had really good teachers down there in Florida too. They had so many guys come through there, Morocco, LeDuc, the Ortons. I mean, all those guys. I worked with every one of them. I worked, 30 minutes and 45 minutes. We went Broadway with all of them. Dusty was doing that for me just so I could learn. And I just think that's it, just the stuff in the ring.
I mean, I'm assuming you learned from your father also, right? And both of you huge guys, what real wrestlers are. But your father had the mic skills of a very boisterous guy, but you took it a different route. You took it more like a quiet, soft-spoken guy. How come you took that approach, or that was natural to you?
And I think that just goes back, to learning from Eddie and Dusty. Just try to be natural. And there are times you got to show your emotion too. You got to use your face, your body, your hands, everything. And those are just things that I just took in, and it was. I guess what I did is I always tried to, at the end of the day, I would always think back about what I learned that day, whether it was about the business or life, before I went to sleep. And it's just one of those things you just add it up and add it up. And I don't know. I mean, I don't know if other people do that. I don't know. It's just the way I did things.
Were you able to, were you ever offered a gimmick that could have derailed your image? Like, you really never were given anything goofy, if you understand what I'm saying.
No, not at all.
You
No.
managed to somehow keep that Barry Windham, the wrestler, intact all those years. Were you ever offered something where you were like, I'm not doing that. That's dumb.
Well, I mean, working for Vince in WWE, he wanted, something else.
Okay.
And I fought him tooth and nail. I was wearing all the camo stuff, but I was wearing my boots underneath it, or I had my hair blonde, or, just always. And, I think that's why Vince didn't really go with me, because I was always just kind of defiant.
Okay.
But I was still there and did my job. But,
do you remember any? I'm sorry to press, but I am curious. Do you remember any particular one with Vince where he was like, "Okay, wear this"? Was there any particular one?
Well, I would probably think the Stalker, right?
Yeah, that was a Stalker.
That was
okay.
a Stalker.
Okay.
And I don't know, maybe Pritchard, that was his idea. I don't know, but anyway, I felt it was kind of a rib,
Right.
and just maybe a little payback for for leaving before, but.
Oh, so you think that's payback when
Interesting.
Why did you leave when you guys were so hot, you and Mike? What made you leave the WWE?
Well, I mean, we had been in Florida before that, and we were home every night. And then we're there, and it was 3 months on the road, never home.
Yeah.
96 days, I think was what we went, 92 or 96,
Mm-hmm.
without going home. We might have had a day off on the road, but there was no way to get home. And we were in Baltimore, and Rotundo just flipped out and lost it. We were all down in the red light district, and all the guys were there, and they had their Lincolns, and they ended up playing Ram cars with Lincolns. And I guess Rotundo had rented the car. Anyway, he jumped out of the car and left me there with the car. I went back to the hotel. He was gone.
Just left.
He had flown home that night. He just flipped out.
Just had enough.
So I went to Boston the next night and worked with SD Jones, and Chief J Strongbow was there, and they called Vince, had Vince on the phone. I said, no, I'm going home. Mike's home. And I didn't talk to him again after that. And it just, I just think it kind of hung with him. which it would have too, you know, if it was been me. But he just ran guys ragged there. And drugs were rampant. And it was
Not for you.
it was a great time, but it was a bad time too.
Right.
I gotcha.
Right.
Yeah.
I gotcha.
I mean, you guys were crazy over back then. It was like, forget about it. I thought you could have, both of you guys could have went on. I mean, he clearly went on as the IRS gimmick for quite a while, but
Yeah.
you
Yeah,
clearly
if we'd have
could have
stuck it out, we'd have been included. But
I mean, what was